Good morning and welcome to the special meeting of the Arts and Culture Commission. It is Monday, April 28th. May we have roll call, please?
Commissioners Derhofanessian.
Here.
Lee.
Here.
Sharikian.
Yes.
Chairperson Deaver.
Here.
For the record, Commissioner Kavanian is not present. The agenda for the April 28th special meeting was posted on the bulletin board outside City Hall on April 23rd, 2014.
Next item.
Item 1, business agenda. At A, action item. At 1, motion to approve artists for Beyond the Box, a utility mural program.
I'm very excited to bring the recommended list of selected artists to you for the Beyond the Box utility box mural program. If you recall, this is this program was the inaugural program that the Commission started discussing after approval of the work plan, and as of May 18th, we'll actually be able to implement this program, or May 17th. Just to give you a little bit of background information, in March, the Commission voted to partner with the Great American Cleanup on this program to bring together community volunteers who are already working on that program, as well as artists, so that this could be a neighborhood beautification and community an invested project. Since that time, staff issued a call for artists, encouraging local and regional artists, as well as established and new artists, to submit applications. Artists could also apply as an individual or a group for multiple utility boxes. The intent was to bring together established professional artists, but also high school students who are interested in the arts. We reviewed the proposals. Commissioners Lee and Sharikian, including arts and culture staff and staff from community development, reviewed over 50 submissions and selected 26 artists. The committee also selected an additional 2 proposals in case one of the selected artists is unable to commit to the date. The committee used the criteria that was established by the Commission to review. These included the artistic originality, creative and innovative concepts in relation to the theme, as well as appropriateness for the nature of the space and the audience. Once the artist list is approved by the Commission, we will be working with the Community Development Department to identify the appropriate utility boxes and coordinate the volunteer needs. Some of the artists are bringing their own volunteers, which is great. Some work with youth groups and high schools, and they'll bring their own volunteers. But then there are some artists who would like volunteers to help them. They've actually designed the utility box to be able to be painted by a group of volunteers. So we will be working on those logistics over the next couple of weeks and fine-tune. To reiterate, the artists will be propping the utility boxes on Friday, May 16th. On Saturday, May 17th, they will actually paint the mural, and that's when the event will be happening. The event is generally takes place from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. An artist will have all day to paint, but we want a majority of that work to be happening during the event hours. And then on Sunday, May 18th, the artist will come back and apply the correct protective coatings so that it's not graffiti and it just protects it for the long term. Originally, the Commission had approved $30,000 for this program, and once we identified the number of utility boxes in the downtown, we have 26, and that brings the program cost for this first phase at around $20,000. So we will have about $10,000 to be able to initiate phase 2. So sometime in the fall, if the Commission chooses to continue with Great American Cleanup or identifies another location, we still have funding for this type of program to be used in another part of the city within this 2-year work plan. That concludes my presentation. The recommendation is for the Commission to approve the artist list as recommended by the selection committee.
Do we have any questions or comments?
Just to thank staff and commissioners for going through all that process. Great. Thank you.
I have one quick question. Do we know how many are local artists?
I did look at that number, and it slips my mind how many we did, how many submitted and how many were selected, but I can forward that information to the Commission after this meeting.
Thank you.
I just would like to add that the process of going through the applications and choosing the best 26 or most suitable 26. It was very fun, number one. And we went through a process, which I really liked the idea, how we went through from choosing each artist, their presentation, and some of them were excellent. I mean, my opinion was like, we've had, yes, 56 entries, but most of them were very good. Some of them you can tell they're very non-professionals, but even the high school kids that they presented, they were doing excellent in their presentation. So I'm very excited to see how it's going to turn out. But I do have a couple of questions regarding, are we going to have some type of meeting with the artists before the 15th or the 16th that we're going to start to guide them where they need to go, which box? And the second question is, are we having any type of coverage, newspaper, TV, any local TV station? And finally, it's a cleanup day, isn't it, basically? But we have our own program within that cleanup day. How are we separating them? I mean, yes, we giving some amount of money, but I would like to see if the Art and Commission will have some type of independent or separate news conference or a coverage for this program.
Okay, I'll start backwards leading up. As you did say, this is in partnership with Great American Cleanup. So although the title of the event is Cleanup, it's all about neighborhood beautification. So although this is a standalone commission project, it does tie into the goals of the Great American Cleanup. There will definitely be media coverage, so that's something that we're working with the staff from community development who's already setting up the coverage so that we can give an overview of the program, so the activities that they're putting together as well as this activity. So we want people to know that it was a partnership, but each program deserves its own highlights. So we are looking at that, there is a kickoff ceremony at the beginning of Great American Cleanup. So this portion of the program will definitely be highlighted, and we will be doing some of our own promotion specifically for the utility box program, and obviously in coordination with Great American Cleanup. Finally, the coordination with artists. We're not going to do a meeting per se, but I will be coordinating with each artist individually once we identify the utility box location, the number of volunteers, and I'll be doing that with the community development staff. So we're still determining whether or not we will need all of the artists to come check in the morning of Great American Cleanup, the day before. So there's a couple of items that we need to finalize with the staff from community development, since they do a lot of the logistics, and I want this to be as seamless as possible. We don't need to recreate the process, but all of that information will be relayed to the artists. I'm hoping the latest early next week, so they know exactly which location they need to be at, and how many volunteers they need, and all of that information.
Just to follow up on the media component of that, will we have coverage that we're not controlling, but that we would have access to, like GTV6 or something, where if we ever wanted out clips or anything to put on a website or to use in social media, any of that, will that be happening as well?
That's the idea, is so that we actually have, some pictures, whether it's video, to be able to put on our website. So right now we don't have a lot in terms of public art pictures, and that's the idea, is not only to be able to get some of those images for us to be able to promote what we're doing, but to be able to promote it as part of the city's program. And one of the goals is, if we have money in our general fund, to be able to put together like a walking map of all the utility boxes. So the idea is to go through to photograph all the utility boxes and be able to do that, but that's of course contingent upon funding. But that's the idea, is to or have some sort of interactive map where people can learn who the artist is, see a picture of that. So these are all things that we're looking to do.
Great.
Okay. What about us meeting the artists? The same way as Glendale Unified brings the work of the artists and the kids, and then we choose. The selection and all the work is done, and the media and press is there. Is there a way we could have them for our next commission meeting, or whenever after the event is, to have all of the ones who have participated also to come here, so in a way our TV audience would also get to know the artists?
That's something we can ask the artists to do, is if they're available for them to come, so that they could present, or publicly the commission can recognize the artists.
Because I think that is appropriate. And, you know, each artist likes to be kind of known to the community as well. So that is a venue for them to be acknowledged. Thank you.
Commissioner Lee?
Because that will be 2 days before our commission meeting. Our commission meeting will be 2 days before the event, so that if we can pull that off, we can make like a semi-presentation, and then 2 days later is when we're supposed to paint.
It depends how they can arrange it. But that would be nice if it's closer to the event rather than too far.
Okay, we can do that.
Thank you.
One other thing. I would like also to see if we can coordinate if any city council member will attend during the process. So one of us at least, or two of us will be present with him. So we can, or you, at least go over a few artists, if at least walking down on Brand Boulevard or Central Boulevard on Saturday where they're painting, and we can have a conversation. I mean, I just want to see if we can help and...
Absolutely, absolutely. That's one of the
Okay.
many things we're going to talk about with CDD staff, since they already coordinate that. CDD is Community Development Department. So since they already coordinate to make sure when, you know, the council's going to be there, what that overview is. So I think this will be a component of that.
Okay.
One more thing. So could you let us know what time the legal or the city officials are going to be there? So we would have our representation there, or all of us, or whichever way, you know, our schedules allow us to be part of the event to support what's happening.
Absolutely.
Sure, thank you.
Other comments or questions? We have a motion? Oh, no.
One last question.
Commissioner King?
How are we going to pay the artist? Just explain to me.
Sure.
After the work is done, or...
After the work is done. So that's how the city process works. So once they're done, Yvonne's been coordinating to give them all of that information so that they understand how the city process works. So we'll be paying artists individually, and all of them get a $750 stipend. That includes the materials and any of their other expenses.
Okay. Well, I'd like to make a motion for approval for this Beyond the Box program.
And I'll second it.
For the, just a clarification, for the artist selection for the...
Artist
yeah.
selection, yes.
Roll call, please.
Commissioners Hovhanessian,
Yes?
Lee,
Yes.
Sharikian,
Yes.
Chairperson Deaver.
Yes. And that is our only action item. So we are with that adjourned.
Thank you.